Well, hello, Facebook world. Here we are at the beautiful Maria Menounos studios, and we've got the legendary Maria Menounos with us, Dr. Karen Becker. We put together 10 longevity tips that we think could help you at home, things that could help prolong the life of your dog or cat.
Let's hear them. What's number one?
Okay, so we've got them in no specific order here. The first one is food quality.
Food quality is a good one. So, food quality in the pet food world ranges from terrible to amazing, just like for human foods. Usually the more we know, the better we can do. Have you worked your way, with the knowledge that you've gained through pet health, through your own body's health, have you switched your dog's food in the last 10 years?
We've switched it many times.
Yeah.
And so with different ailments that our dogs have had, whether it's pancreatitis or kidney issues, we've had to go for the lowest fat content and stuff. So we've changed things. We've cooked for them. So yeah, we're constantly looking for the best diet.
If you're not aware, one of the biggest scares that's happening today is you're seeing this DCM issue, dilated cardiomyopathy, that's going on. People that are feeding grain-free diets, they're saying, or a novel type of protein. What they know right now is that there's a problem inside these bags of kibble, something going on with the amino acids. And so if there was ever a time to start varying your diet, changing, adding things into the bowl, it would be now.
Wow. Yeah.
All right, well, you jumped into the supplements, Karen.
Yeah.
I see you've already jumped into the card.
Research is very, very clear, especially for large and giant breed dogs. If you begin supplementation with joint support, like glucosamine at 3 months of age, you can actually reduce the onset of arthritis for many years down the road. So you are proactively preventing joint degeneration from occurring, which is beautiful. And you've done that, as well as fish oil, which is wonderful.
My shepherd who had on it lived to his 16th year without any joint issues.
Which is shocking, actually. Statistically, that's very rare. So you know the power then of supplementation, which is awesome.
And actually the study that just recently came out showing, a study out of Iran that was showing about dog behavioral problems, that supplementing omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, and zinc actually could help reduce the severity of bad behavior problems at home. So just to show you the importance of supplementation, I personally think that has a lot to do with maybe some of the things that might be missing from diets today, but a really good reason
to
to
work
add.
for humans.
Yeah. So actually, we're going to magnesium actually is nature's antidepressant. So if you're feeling a little, overwhelmed, honestly, truly, most people are magnesium deficient. So if you're feeling a little out of it, take magnesium.
Yes, okay.
Your husband's being really angry and mean.
Here we go. The third tip is water quality.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Water quality is really important. It's something that not a lot of people think about. You know, what type of water are you feeding your dog? Is your dog drinking out of ponds? Is your dog drinking out of rivers or fountains or things of that nature? What are you guys doing for water quality?
Thanks to you, we are using a little vinegar in our water fountain that Max loves to go to and drink out of. And now because of you, Dr. Becker, we're going to use a little colloidal silver to make sure that it's all purified for him.
Which is great. And Max, her dog, likes to drink out of the fountain in the front yard. And this is something where we're providing this beautiful filtered, great quality water that's fluoride-free and chlorine-free, which is great for their metabolic system. And then dogs will go and drink out of ponds and streams and toilets. So, and that's interesting. They're building their microbiome by doing that. But because, of course, fountains can be dirty, Maria was asking for a way to disinfect the fountain without providing chemicals. And vinegar and colloidal silver are two great options, and that's great.
So I at home now am doing reverse osmosis.
Ooh, that sounds complicated.
Trying to get those minerals back into the water.
I'm back in science class. Oh, I just did this with my mom's dog.
Yay!
Yeah, because every time you have to put them in a kennel, they tell you, well, they need to be updated on all these vaccines. I'm like, he's 13. He's an older dog. We need to titer him. And they're like, that's going to cost a lot of money. I'm like, I don't want him to die.
That's so awesome.
It's going to cost more.
Man. Titering is hugely important. Dr. Karen Becker, take it away.
Yep, and so, Maria, you're spot on. Of course, we want our dogs and cats protected against disease, but being protected is totally different than being toxic. Vaccines don't magically wear off. You don't go in every year and get a whole round of measles, mumps, rubella. So you're protected for life, and so are your dogs. So Maria wisely had a blood test done to prove protective immunity done.
Yeah, I think it's like $180, whereas if I over-vaccinate him, he's going to get sick and cost me $1,000.
Well said. Yeah, there's some research out there. Dr. Ronald Schultz will show that over-vaccinating can actually cause cancer in cats. So be careful, play it safe, titer, don't over-vaccinate.
Our dogs all got sick after we over-vaccinated them in the beginning of their lives. They got autoimmune diseases, allergies, all kinds of things. And so much more.
Wise.
Yay!
No.
All right. in around your house, lawn chemicals.
Yeah.
So you really have to think about lawn chemicals. Not a lot of people even think this is a really big deal.
And actually, we found that out. We produced a video on why we need to be reducing pesticide use on lawns. We know that bladder cancers, lymphoma have been definitively linked to the amount of chemicals on the lawn. But interestingly, you had a client just last month that said, I'm so thankful I'm only using pesticides, not herbicides.
Yeah.
And what we know is that category of lawn chemicals includes fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, all of them together. Even more frustrating is that you may have a green organic home, but if your neighbor is spraying, you can have what's called crossover effect, which means your neighbor's chemicals can come over the fence and actually begin to affect your dogs. So when in doubt, if you know that your neighbor is creating a toxic environment in his yard, one of the things you can do is increase the amount of foot soaks, just rinsing your dog's feet off with a hose. If he spends a lot of time running in the yard, rinsing his feet off before he comes in, you're going to minimize that chemicals brought into the home and also chemicals that are remaining on his skin and fur that he can ingest that could be potentially toxic to him.
So what do you use on the lawn?
Very great
Because I'm
question.
sitting here realizing my lawn, the people we
The
have to
guys
come
just
and
come
cut,
and do it.
they've said, no, it's all healthy and organic and clean,
Yes.
but to
Yeah.
them it might be,
Yeah.
maybe they haven't done the fine print research, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. So for me at home, to be quite honest with you, I let the weeds grow. I know that's not ideal for a lot of people, the health benefits to having those weeds, but one thing that really scared me was the latest research that came out. A study came out that your pet could actually give you cancer. This infuriated
it
people.
did.
Your pet could give you
pet
cancer?
could give you cancer. And the science behind it was, if you sprayed your lawn or your neighbor hypothetically sprayed, that 50-foot drag onto your lawn, your animal goes outside, rolls around in that pesticide, it sticks land-based all over their coat. They come in the house, they're licking it, they're cleaning
Roll
themselves,
around
they're
in your bed.
ingesting
In your bed,
it. Rolls
yeah.
no
On
problem.
your bed.
They roll in your bed. Children are patting the dogs, stroking the dogs, playing with the coat, and then
Kissing.
kissing the dog, and then touching their lips, their mouth, eating. They are ingesting those pesticides. In fact, the research said it can actually absorb through your skin.
that's
I'm
true.
outside chopping dandelions and putting it into my dog's bowls.
It's
You can
true.
make a tea out of it. It does
good for people.
unbelievable
It is.
things to your
It's a
body.
great detoxifier.
They always say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Some people will look at a weed and be like, "Oh, I hate you." Others will be like, "Oh my gosh, look at that incredible herb that's growing in my lawn." So,
Yeah.
again, don't hate your weeds.
Okay.
All right, so the next tip that we have on our longevity hacks here is stress levels.
Yeah.
What can stress actually do to your animal? You yourself, if you're stressed.
It's true. I have been working the last 15 years on making sure that every night I go to bed, meditated enough that I can feel neutral, that I'm not carrying anything to bed with me. And that has been my coping mechanism. And I do believe the animals in my home can tell that I am a more grounded human because I'm intentionally working on that. But that's something that I've had to learn because I didn't want to go to bed feeling the way that I was feeling.
Yeah.
You have recently been through physical stress, but that has given you great time to probably reflect on how you would shift your life to help mitigate that stress.
Yeah, I think I went through a very long period of no stress, even though I was going through a lot of stressful stuff because I surrendered. And then the last couple weeks, I allowed some, family stuff to stress me out.
Yeah.
Isn't that generally what happens?
Yeah.
And so my dogs felt that Max was misbehaving, Winnie was misbehaving, and I'm like yelling at them, but really it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what's so fascinating, we were talking about this on your show earlier about the Italian research that not only if you are stressed out and your dog smells you, your dog adapts into that mood. So if your poor dog is having a wonderful day, here you are, you come at home, let's say you had a fight at work and you're over it, but you come home and your dog smells you and actually smells that sweat of that stress, your dog can actually be stressed out. So fascinating research. Let it go if you can. And if
Yeah.
not for yourself,
Let it go, let it go, just let it all go.
Nice. I like that. I like that.
Daily exercise for the next tip. Now, this one is hugely important, Maria. I got to ask you.
Yeah.
A lot of people will be like, "Hey, man, I've got that backyard in the back. It's fenced in. I just let the dog go out there all day. My dog is getting all of his daily exercise." What do you do for exercise?
Well, I think I'm just as lame with myself as I am with my animal. So, Max, I try to walk him as much as I can.
Yeah.
And because I do know he needs a lot of exercise sometimes, he'll tell me when he's really wanting it. So I'll go into the front yard and I'll throw the ball from one side to the other and make him run at full speed for a long time.
And that's
so he can get that
awesome.
crazy
great.
cardio.
Yep.
great.
Because he gets stressed out on walks still. He's still learning how to walk and be calm and not nervous for me.
Yep. And actually, so just a little bit of a backstory. Maria rescued a dog, and so he was rescued as an adult, a young adult, but not appropriately socialized German Shepherd. So you're doing a really beautiful thing. You're kind of teaching him at his own pace as not to exacerbate his stress. Right. So you're taking him out during times when you know it's safe and there's not a lot of people, but you are still giving him that daily cardio by doing ball playing in your front yard. And it's also great that you're listening to him tell you, I got to move my body, and then you're like, all right, we'll go burn off that energy. And
when
that's
he
great.
tells me, I listen. I'm like, okay, buddy, let's go.
Yeah,
exactly.
Nice.
All right, and from exercise, which it seems like to be fitting, is weight. Now, one of the biggest challenges right now is we know there's an obesity epidemic that's happening. 60% of pets right now, they're saying almost globally, are obese or overweight. This is hugely a giant problem in the decrease of longevity today. And what's even scarier is that 80% of pet parents around the world can't even see it. They are blind and immune to it.
Well, and they're getting offended when you as a doctor tell them that was crazy. I didn't know that.
It is. And so a lot of people, people don't like, it's just a touchy subject. The F word is the F word, and no one wants to talk about it, address it, think about it.
Well, in every world, human and dog.
Yes, it is. And now people are becoming offended when we are talking about the medical condition of being overweight or obese with their pets. They are becoming offended for their dog. Their dog doesn't give 2 cents. You can call a dog fat and they don't care, but their owners care. And because of that, and because veterinarians are also sometimes carrying a weight issue, it's this awkward scenario where no one's really addressing an issue. Those of you that have pets that are maybe on the high side of their optimal weight zone, the key is don't let them cross that threshold.
Guys, I want you to remember just reducing 25% out of that bowl can extend your dog's lifespan by 2 extra years.
And probably ours too.
And ours too as well. It's fascinating. They say this, man, the less you eat, the longer you live. That is the talk right now in the scientific world.
Well, isn't it especially for dogs too, because I know it's going to apply to people, the less work your body has to do, right? So every time we eat, our bodies have to work.
You got it.
To digest everything. And that's why the more things on your plate, vegetables and fruit and potatoes and all these different things, your body has to digest each thing differently. And so there's a lot of work that goes in. So the simpler your salad is, the better. The simpler your plate is, the better.
And your body only rest, repairs, and restores itself when it's fasted. So if you're looking to rest, repair, and restore, stop eating, put the fork down. Or in the case of your dog or cat, leaving a bowl of food down all the time is the definition of heaven, but it's not reality. So you've got to pick the bowl up, you have to measure out the portion of food, and when the food's gone for the day, the food's done. We don't keep eating even though we want to, and we can't keep feeding our pets even though they want to keep eating.
Yep.
Okay, so we got to wrap this up. I know we're running out of time here. Let's get these ones super quick, which is household and chemical cleaners. So I know that this is hugely important. Look, the things that we put in our house, the things that we put on our floor right now, I was talking about the Environmental Working Group, 48 out of 70 household cleaners found in the blood of dogs and cats. You got to be careful. What are you guys using?
Vinegar.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. Baking soda, so it's great.
Yeah.
Try to stick to organic cleaners if you can. Okay, and the last tip for you guys out there, and longevity tip. Now, this one's tough. We'll let Dr. Karen Becker run with this one.
Yes.
Hormone preservation. What does that mean?
Hormone preservation is hopefully the PC way of saying we all learned the hard way that by early spaying and neutering, we created metabolic and endocrine disease in our dogs. Kitties are off the hook, thank goodness. But when we spay and neuter dogs before they are mature, we know that it can shift and permanently alter their endocrine system. So what we know now is that we can sterilize dogs, which means we can give them a hysterectomy, we can remove just their uterus, so no babies, but they can keep their natural hormones that allows their body to function endocrinologically excellently.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And shout out to all the breeders out there in the world who are now taking in all of this science, new research. If you are with a breeder, here's what's going on. The breeder is asking you to delay. It's in the contract. So you can't even spay or neuter at 6 months if you want to try. They've read the science, and now they're looking for 1 year to 2 years. Unbelievable research.
But hopefully you're rescuing a baby that needs you.
Well
That's
said.
right.
And
you can ask the shelter, say, listen, I want my dog to live forever. Could you please just leave her ovaries and take her uterus? Or could you consider doing a vasectomy on my male dog where he's sterile, but he can still have his sex hormones?
So when we go to the vet, we ask for sterilization as opposed to a spay or neuter.
You got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or just delaying it if you've got a young animal. As always out there, Facebook world, thank you for everyone tuning in. Thank you to Maria
Thank you
Menounos
guys.
for jacking
So
over
fun.
her studio and putting this in here. A shout out to Dr. Karen Becker. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully these tips help, and we'll see you soon.
Roof.
Yay!
That's awesome.